Hello and welcome to our Market Mug giveaway for October of 2024. It is obviously November. We do this the month afterwards to as a bonus to the contributors, the patrons to BetterPears leaves from the previous month. So everyone who submitted either entries or earned entries through participation in the BetterPears leaves program has this option available to them into this sort of prize giveaway. It's a sweepstakes. And I'm just checking to make sure that we are going live. And yes, okay, I've got confirmation. Very good. Again, I'm Dr. Jason Fujikawa, the founder of BetterPears, the host of the BetterPears podcast and the Confederal Reserve. A couple of things on the agenda tonight. Let's head over to our agenda. So we are excited to announce our live stream coming up at the end of the month on Black Friday. So perhaps gathered after Thanksgiving dinner the day before, and everybody's sort of maybe thinking leftovers or that weird issue if you're doing meatless Fridays, like, okay, we have all this turkey, but what else are we going to eat? To kind of just enjoy some time with BetterPears. And talk about that a little bit more in a second. We'll also talk about just BetterPears leaves, sort of an introduction to people in case they're coming onto this live stream for the first time. Our continuing prayer campaign, seeking the intercession of the Blessed Virgin Mary through the Memorare prayer. And then finally, we'll get to the moment people are waiting for, our Market Mug giveaway. And we'll spin the Wheel of Names to find out who the winner for October is. Very good. So let's move on to the patron and prayer pledge giveaway, or live stream, excuse me. We'll move to the homepage. So we have the graphic, the save the date graphic up now. And so, yes, save the date, November 29th. Okay, so Thanksgiving is at the latest it can be, being the fourth Thursday of the month of November. So that'll be on the 28th, and then the day after, the 29th, on that Friday, will begin at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 5 p.m. Central Time. It is scheduled to last for several hours, so one need not attend the entire live stream. It will be live streamed on YouTube, and therefore you can kind of speed up or fast forward to the sections you're most interested in. But a little things, some of the highlights of that evening include a premiere episode of the Confederal Reserve. We have a special guest to those in the New Hampshire community. We're going to be hosting Mark Gillis, the head of school of Holy Family Academy in Manchester, New Hampshire. He's going to be our guest. We're going to be recording that in the next week, and excited to talk with him with his classical work of choice. In addition to Mark Gillis, we're going to have live guests. So technologically, this is going to be an exciting live stream with many kind of spinning plates and exciting people to kind of dropping by to comment, to talk about the episode, and to talk a little bit more about their interest in BetterPears. There will also be an online course launch. So I've been sort of talking about this all year, but getting down to actually producing and providing an online course that teaches that walks through. It's as if we had a Latin reading group for Augustine's Confessions, Book 1. So I'm teaching the course, I'm leading the course, I'm the guy on camera, but walking through the Latin text of Augustine, particularly just the first book of the Confessions, in 6 sessions. And the design is like if you've studied Latin at the advanced level in high school or college, you might have stumbled across, say, Clyde Farr's edition of his editing of the Aeneid. And every page there has the text of the original. There's a select glossary for important terms that come up in that passage, that selection, that you might not have on the tip of your tongue. And then there's additional notes. So instead of notes, it'll be me commentating on the passage. But the idea is that you can, if someone who has had many years of study, by many I mean like 2 or 3, who can kind of read Latin at that intermediate or advanced level. So this might be a current student of Latin. This could be someone who has taken Latin many years ago. It feels very sort of rusty. We're all a little rusty in some sense. But the idea is that this online course will allow you to just sort of sit down without any kind of pre-homework, kind of pre-work or preparation, to sort of just sit down and kind of systematically walk through an ancient work, a classical work, and in the way that one eats an elephant, right? The way that you eat an elephant is one bite at a time, and so incrementally through select passages in order. There'll be time to kind of pause and just sort of construe the sentence yourself, but then I will come in and offer sort of a rendering of what the Latin text means and an offering sort of insights into Augustine's style. It is particularly a course on the actual text of the Confessions and not so much a history course on Augustine to let his words speak for themselves. So we're excited to be able to offer that to be a great sort of gifting opportunity for the Christmas season upcoming. And finally, the last highlight of the live stream will be a live reading of the BetterPears podcast. So if you don't know, the BetterPears podcast it's essentially I believe it's actually described here on the homepage as a short form audio essay podcast. And so usually I record the audio for each podcast sort of separately. Well, this time I'll be kind of reading it on camera, which is exciting and scary all at the same time. But there will also be the sort of official recorded version, not the unplugged live version, also distributed shortly after the live stream. But yes, you'll be able to kind of be the first to hear of the BetterPears podcast on the live stream. So we're putting that together. Very excited to have some additional help in producing and carrying out the live stream for all of you in 2 weeks' time. So looking forward to seeing you all then. One of the kind of primary or kind of practical goals of the live stream is a pledge drive for prayers for BetterPears. So we announced that. In addition, we're also seeking additional patrons for our BetterPears Leaves program. So right here on the homepage, you can become a patron. You can pledge or report your prayers right here on these clickable buttons. But let's talk a little bit now, kind of going back to our agenda, talk a little bit about BetterPears Leaves. And the whole idea here is to provide some financial support for the work of BetterPears. BetterPears has sort of two main kind of branches in what it does. There are the online offerings, such as what you're seeing right now, not so much the live streams, but the online presence through the BetterPears podcast. So again, each podcast episode, they're not very kind of timely in the sense of kind of discussing news of the day. There are some sort of confluences of that. With the last episode that was launched was on fate, and we were able to put that one out there on election day to understand the concept of fate through a classical sort of pagan lens and through a classical Judeo-Christian lens. And so sometimes the topics kind of correspond with things that are happening in the world. But the idea is that each episode, it kind of exists in a sort of evergreen or timeless sort of state that allow the sort of insights about language, about meaning, about human nature, about education and human relations to sort of exist with ready reference. So one thing that I need to actually do better on the website is to promote sort of the schedule page of the website. So it's betterpears.com/schedule. Currently, you find if you go to the preserves, the podcast, the blog page, you just kind of see them in sequential order. But to kind of see the whole, as Aristotle would say, for the director of a play, right, to keep the vision of the whole in mind. This other page I've developed, betterpears.com/schedule, allows you to kind of see all the episodes at once, and then also a list of topics that might be of interest to you. And so that's one of the things that we provide here with BetterPears, in addition to the Confederal Reserve, which is our interview series, in which basically a colleague or friend, old-time colleague or friend, sit down with me to discuss a classical work. And the idea there is the confraternity, right? These friendships that have developed. And so it isn't just a random interviewee that I might have just met, just passing by or through some sort of scheduling because they have something really important to share. No, this is a pre-existing relationship that is something that you yourself, the audience could have with not necessarily me, because if I don't know you necessarily, but that you could have with someone in your life to kind of intentionally talk about a work that matters in a way that we don't often have a chance to discuss, right? So that's the reserve part of it, right? Just like a vineyard would have, the regular wine they sell, but then the special wine, right? The reserved topic, right? In this case, a classical work that the guest, the Confederate, brings out to share with the audience and me, the interlocutor. So that's our online presence, and in addition to that, we also have our ground game, our in-person sessions, our in-person fellowships, and so we've had sort of a fall series here in which let's see, what did we read? We read A Midsummer Night's Dream on St. Crispin's Day. We had kind of a two-part series on Henry V, one of our longer Shakespearean plays, but also what else was there? There's A Midsummer Night's Dream. We had scheduled Romeo and Juliet, and a few others. I went blank. I didn't have it in my notes. Sorry about that. But we are hoping to host more of those into the late fall and early winter. So do keep an eye on that at betterpears.com/greenhouse if you're particularly in the Oklahoma City area. One of the reasons why we're having the live stream is to provide some financial stability so that the ground game of BetterPears can grow. To put additional resources to branch out beyond the Oklahoma City metro area to explore whether there's an interest in these fellowships in additional states. And so some of the financial cushion we need to make that happen is one of the reasons for the pledge drive, the patron drive in the live stream coming up in 2 weeks. So BetterPears Leaves, again, it is what I sometimes call what we market as the most unique patron program in the world. And just to give you a little bit to kind of review how that works. So essentially, monthly supporters in BetterPears Leaves send to BetterPears electronically $12 worth of Federal Reserve notes, $12 or more. And that allows the operations of BetterPears to continue. In addition, every month, a supporter of $12 or more receives a gold back in the mail. And so I have one here again tonight for us. So again, a gold back is this thing. So it is gold leaf foil, 24 karat, trapped in a polymer that makes it very sort of durable and usable for micro exchanges, right? So each one of these gold backs has, again, 1,000th of a troy ounce. There's a lot of math there in terms of its actual weight. It is very, very light, but again, it's pure gold. So these, relative to the spot price of gold, right now the exchange rate, given sort of the premium of trapping a thousandth of a troy ounce of gold in a polymer, sort of the street value for one of these is over $5. So that plus postage, roughly half of the $12, or sort of the minimum threshold for BetterPears Leaves, goes in providing this thank you gift, which is our pleasure to do. And so the other half of that, in addition to various credit card fees and whatnot, the other half of that goes to assist in the work of BetterPears. So it is not the most grandiose, and there's really actually only one tier of giving, although you can give more than $12. But the idea goes along with sort of the idea of BetterPears in general. That is to say, we're trying to, both in the podcast and in sort of the Confederate Reserve, right, sort of plant the seed of the taste of better fruit, right? How do you develop taste? Well, you have to sort of taste good things. So to give good discussion among friends and what that looks like and what that might feel like, so that you can incorporate that into your own life, to call up an old friend and say, hey, you really seem to, in school or in work, have this kind of idea. Would you like to talk about it some more? Similarly with the podcast, right? The words that we surround ourselves every day, the words that we use and often think not of, uh, that the BetterPears podcast sort of plants the seed that greater reflection on our language can help us think more clearly in an age of unclarity. That surprise, we live in an age of diminishing clarity in our thought and in our actions. So along with that, this idea of sort of planting the seed of better things, better fruit, better works, is this idea of gold, right? And gold has been money for millennia, and yet in the last century, we've seen the appreciation, literally sort of the evaluation of money, decrease in our minds and become separate from this idea, separate from the idea of money and the use of currency, right? Here we say a fiat currency, not backed by gold, has predominated our understanding of wealth. And so this little gift to BetterPears, which helps the work of BetterPears, also is kind of a reciprocal gift to you, right? That's the thank you gift of the gold back. That it might plant the seed in your mind of where am I placing my wealth, particularly here in worldly things, right? There's sort of treasure in heaven, but in our worldly treasure that we need to fulfill our responsibilities, our obligations in this life, am I placing my full faith and confidence in real things or in imaginary things or things that kind of exist because nobody's really probing as to what underlies the valuations, the worth that is accredited to dollar-denominated assets. So it's there, like everything else that BetterPears does, again, to develop, excuse me, a sense of reality, of what is real and what is true. So that's our BetterPears Leaves program. In addition to the thank you gift gold back every month at every qualifying supporter. And again, to receive the gold back, we have to mail that gold back to a U.S. postal address. So we do have some international audience members. We'll have to figure something out, but we can only send those to U.S. addresses. So thank you again for your continuing support. But in addition to that, we also have our Market Mug giveaway for the rest of 2024. Should the live stream be successful, incredibly successful, we are highly likely to continue the Market Mug giveaway. It's a great time to share in that gratuity, the reciprocity of gift giving with our audience, with our supporters, and so. And also a great way to kind of have something in the office or in your home that allows you to share the news about BetterPears with guests and colleagues. So, continuing on with our agenda, we're talking about our prayer campaign. So if we go back to the main site, click. Here we go. So yes, on the ways to support BetterPears, the first one, right, pray for BetterPears, invoke the most unique patroness in the world, right? So we have the most unique patron program in the world, but now, yes, the most unique patron of the world, and that is the Blessed Virgin Mary. And so the idea here was a school I used to work for had this campaign, right? They were kind of in a very critical moment in their history and their growth and the direction. And one of the things we wanted to do as a community was to pray, particularly pray the Memorare prayer. It's a beautiful traditional prayer invoking the intercession of the Blessed Virgin Mary, which is, I think I pointed out in the introduction to this prayer campaign, right? It's kind of funny, right? We tell her to remember as if she's a kind of person who forgets, right? But remember, most gracious Virgin Mary, that never was it known that anyone who fled to your protection, implored your help, or sought your intercession was left unaided. Inspired by this confidence, I fly unto you, O Virgin of Virgins, my mother. To you do I come, before you I stand, sinful and sorrowful. O Mother of the Word incarnate, despise not my petitions, but in your mercy hear and answer me. So that is the visual of the prayer card that you can receive. This is the back side of it, and where you can kind of keep track or a tally, however you want to do that. There's over 100 boxes there. And so we have all these buttons on the page. We have our current total, but then a way to report your prayers once you have prayed them, so we can kind of keep an accurate total there. There's also a chance for you to offer up any intentions that we here at Better Pairs will be praying for you as well. In addition, this link is currently not working. We will get that up, but for our live stream, we want to be able to, if you want to pledge that you will pray for Better Pairs, we want to allow you to do that and kind of front load the prayers. But this link will work. It will also allow you to request from us for free the physical cards, the printed cards for you. So you can download the PDF, or we can just send them to you in the mail to kind of assist you and also allow you to hand those out to friends and family, particularly with the Christmas, the Advent and Christmas holidays coming up. We are excited to be able to offer that for you as well. So again, we're bringing in the big gun, the big gune woman to intercede for us in the work of Better Pairs, realizing that in a lot of ways, right, while I am the founder and in a lot of ways the animus of Better Pairs and its direction, much of what I do, both in my professional teaching, but also in my writing and in the podcast, right, is sort of stepping back and allowing sort of truth itself, of the wisdom of those who came before us, right, our betters, to speak. And so this is another way in sort of the operations, in the guidance of Better Pairs, allowing someone who has guided the church, who is patron of the United States, to a patroness, right, of the United States, to kind of take that lead step in these affairs. So excited to continue on with that prayer campaign. Excited to have all of you praying for this work of Better Pairs as well. Very good. And that brings us to the Market Mug giveaway. So again, we do have some additional people who have given to Better Pairs in the month of November. So the wheel will be bigger or have more names spinning around it next month. But we're excited to be here again with the Wheel of Names for this month. So without further ado, we will make a little bit more ado. But yes, here we go to the Wheel of Names. And just to make sure all the sound works. And here we go. Amelia BW of Oklahoma City, congratulations. You are the winner this month. So I'll be in contact with you about your selection. In the past, I'm sporting the Stop Big Lexi mug. Recently, our winners have been selecting the Factificilium Cole Purum mug, a crowd favorite. But any of the mugs within the catalog of mugs will be available to Amelia, and so we are excited to be able to offer that to our patrons, and excited for all of you who might decide to join Better Pairs Leaves this month during the live stream, before the live stream, after the live stream, and be able to participate in the monthly Market Mug giveaway next month. With that, thank you again for watching the live stream from all of us here at Better Pairs. Thank you, and we will see you soon. Bye now. With that, thank you again.